Hey, what's up? How are you? Well, I could see so many comments already. You guys are having a good time here. Hi, Anshita. Hi, Papia. Hey, Gungun. Welcome back. So many known names already here. Sanjay Rai 00, good evening. How are you guys doing? What is up? Tell me everything. I could see you guys are already discussing on one particular topic. Well, also, if you could see me clearly and hear me, then give me a thumbs up so that we know that we are good to go. There we go. We have Yasharth back in the session. Bhagya, Ayushi. Hi, Shrishti. Welcome, welcome. Give me a thumbs up quickly so that we could begin with our today's session. Neha Kumari. Okay, so many thumbs ups are already coming in. So I guess it's a good confirmation from you guys that we are all set and ready to begin with today's session. So welcome everyone to Byju's 8 to 10 geography session on the chapter Lifelines of National Economy. Now I know you guys have already gone through this chapter and are here to, answer it out whenever I ask you a question. So let us, without any further ado, begin with today's session. Let's have a look at the structure, okay? What all things are we going to cover in this and how overall we are going to go about this chapter. We have Aishwarya with us. Rudra, good evening everyone. Nice to meet you again. Anshita, Rudra, Gaurang Sinha, Shivani Dhruva. Okay, I am loving the energy right here in the chat box. And with this energy, let us now discuss the chapter Lifelines of National Economy. Now, before we begin, I have a simple question for you, okay? What do we mean by economy? Tell me in the chat box what, according to you, is economy of a nation. I could already see comments here. Easy peasy chapter. Amazing. Then I'm expecting you guys to answer everything in the chat box as well. Sakshi Roy. Okay. Quickly tell me, in layman terms, in just one sentence, what do we mean by economy? Hey Arjun. SR Ashik, good evening. Jayamani says something about finance. Daman says social conditions of country. Money is what Papia has to say. It is related to money. Rupa says money. Okay. We have economy of a nation is the total income of the people of the country. Okay, answers are coming in. So, in layman terms, economy is generation of wealth by any nation, okay? Which means we as a country, we generate goods and services and that is bought for money, right? So this reflects the economy of a country. And to aid this, we have the lifelines, which we will be talking about in today's session. Number 1 is transportation. Number 2 is communication and number 3 is trade. So these are the lifelines that we will be understanding thoroughly today. Okay, Rupa, hello. Gungun, Devna, amazing. I could see Aishwarya writing in as well. Wonderful. Okay, I'm loving the response. Let's go ahead now and let's talk about transportation, the very first lifeline of national economy. Okay, so now in transportation, we have 3 means of transport. That is land, water and air. Now, roadways, railways and pipelines. These 3 are the modes of transportation on land. Then we have inland waterways on rivers, backwaters, canals and overseas waterways on seas. These are the 2 modes of transportation on water. And then under air we have domestic airways and international airways. Okay, so domestic airways here means the flights that are connecting cities within the country. And airways, by that we mean the flights that are connecting cities of one particular country to places of other countries. Say for example, you are traveling from Mumbai to Dubai. Okay, that is international airways. Alright, Yashart here is also giving us the answer for what is called transportation. Very well done, Vandana Mishra. Amazing. Rudra, very well done. Okay, so now that you guys have a, idea about what it is, let us talk about the very first means of transport, that is land and roadways. It was probably the first means of transport that was built by humans. So let's understand roadways, right? Okay. Hello, Miswa Khan, Pavni Devraju. Hi, everyone. Okay, so under roadways, there are two subtopics that we will be covering. Number one is roadways versus railways. Okay, we'll have a comparative study between these two modes of transport. And next is categorization of roadways. And in this, we will be categorizing roadways on the basis of what their capacity is. And number two is on their construction material used. Ramanpreet Kaur says roadways are useful for door-to-door service. You guys are giving the answers already. There's no need for me to be here. Wonderful, but I'm loving the response. Let's now focus on this comparison, that is roadways versus railways. This is a very important question from exam point of view. So now let us look at one of the question that you could be asked for this topic. The question is, roadways and railways are both important means of transport, but roadways have an edge over railways. We need to explain this, and this is a 5-marker question. So now let us look at the points and let us try to understand it. Okay, last mile connectivity. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now the very first point is construction cost of roads is much lower than that of railway lines. Now, what do we mean by that? So now construction of railway lines require extra infrastructure, like we need railway platforms, we need tracks, we need foot-over bridges, right? But now when we compare this to roadways, we don't require that much infrastructure, right? And that is the reason why the amount of money that we have to invest in roads is lesser, right? Okay. Moving forward now to the second point, we have roads can negotiate higher gradients of slopes and as such can traverse mountains such as Himalayas. Now, mountainous regions or uneven lands are not a major concern for construction of roads, right? Why? Because road can climb up this hill, or it can also turn like a snake around this mountain, to reach anywhere. So this is easier than that of constructing a railway, right? And that is the reason why roads can negotiate higher gradients of slope. It can climb this mountain as well. Moving forward now to the third point that we have. Road transport is economical in transportation of few persons and relatively smaller amount of goods over short distances. So now in the area of sparse population, road transport is easier than railway transport because it's cheaper to run a bus to transport small number of people, right? And also when we have less volume of goods, we prefer road transport. Now, when we have large volume of goods and also we have to transport that over larger distances, it is only then we use railways. Okay? Pretty much clear. Now, let's move forward to the next point. Roadways are best for shorter distance, says Gaurang Sinha. Yashat. Okay. Priyanshu says, ma'am, I'm lacking an SST. That is completely okay. We are here to help you out in that, Priyanshu. Do not worry about that. Let's now focus on the fourth point. That is, it also provides door-to-door service, which means, let's say, for example, railways, it carries us from one railway station to another railway station. But when we talk about roadways, it will help you reach to your doorstep, right? And also when it comes to the transportation of goods, there is no unloading or loading that is occurring in between. And that is the reason why the cost of loading and unloading is much lower in roadways. Okay, and the last point that we have for this comparison is road transport is also used as a feeder to other modes of transport, such as they provide a link between railway station, air and sea ports. Okay, now just imagine you have to reach to a railway platform to take a train. But even to reach the platform, you have to use roads, right? You have to use a cab or an auto. So roadways help you to connect to the railway station. And also when we talk about the transportation of goods, okay, when we are transporting it through railway station, through railways, it is incomplete without roadways moving the goods from railway station to the destination, right? So it acts as a feeder. All right. I hope, Harini, you have now understood what do we mean by feeder, right? Okay, so that was all about this comparison between roadways versus railways. So now if you get this question, you would be easily able to answer it out and explain each and every pointers as well. Okay, wonderful. Diksha Sharma writing in the answers, Yashart as usual giving in all the answers before, Papia Das. Wonderful, wonderful guys, good going. Let's keep up with this and move forward now to the categorization of roadways, okay? We are going to categorize it under two things. One is on the basis of their capacity and number two is on the basis of the construction material used. Thank you, Gungun. Your teaching is amazing. Thank you so much. Papia says winner is the roadways. Papia is making the conclusion already. Hey, Uzma. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now we know the two categorization. Let us focus on the very first categorization, that is on the basis of their capacity. Now, what do we mean by capacity here? It means how much traffic that road is able to handle, right? And how would we be able to identify it? By how many vehicles can that particular road handle at a unit of time, which means like how much load this road can take is what we will be discussing. So let us understand this. Okay, so roads are classified under this 6 categories on the basis of their capacity. We have golden quadrilateral superhighways, we have national highways, we have state highways, district roads, other roads and border roads. Okay. Bhagya Vardar, how are you so quick? You have already mentioned all the 6 classifications right here. Vani Tyagi. Okay, Charvi has also mentioned everything. Good job, you guys. Let's now discuss these 6 classifications. So now, widest amongst these is our golden quadrilateral superhighways. Okay, it is meant for high-speed travels. In other terms, we call it as superhighways. Okay, but now the question is, why does superhighway has a name called golden quadrilateral? What does that mean? Let's find that out. So golden quadrilateral, it links 4 megacities of India, that is New Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai and Mumbai. Okay, why are we calling it as megacities? Because these are the places where maximum high amount of economic activities are taking place. Okay, and now just have a closer look at this map. It traces the shape of a quadrilateral, right? Diksha Sharma, absolutely correct. I have already mentioned the 4 cities out here. Paulami Sahu linking the megacities, absolutely correct. Okay, so now let's now talk about what happens to this north-south corridor and east-west corridor. Okay, so in addition to this, the project covers north-south corridor, that is between Srinagar, which is in Jammu and Kashmir, to Kanyakumari, which is in Tamil Nadu. And also it connects the east-west corridor, that is Silchar in Assam to Porbandar in Gujarat. Okay, so now that we have understood what all places this project, this Golden Quadrilateral Superhighway covers, let's find out that what is the objective of this particular Golden Quadrilateral project. If you know, let me, please tell me. How are you doing this, Yasharth? Answering it before I ask the question. Golden Quadrilateral is aimed to reduce the time and distance. Absolutely correct there. So this project is aimed to reduce the time that we spent in transporting the goods between these 4 mega cities, and also to reduce the distance traversed by transporting the goods between the mega cities of India. Alright, and this is implemented by NHAI, that is the National Highway Authority of India. Okay, so now we can say that this complete system of superhighway is also covering important cities that are coming in the particular line. Okay, so the name Golden is serving its meaning. Bhagya Vardhan, very well done. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. But in Golden Quadrilateral, it does not cover all the places. And also the corridor would not take all the places that would not come under this particular line. So what are we supposed to do of all the places that do not fall under this line? For that, we have another classification, that is national highways. Okay, so here by highways we mean important public roads that connect all the major cities and towns. So what national highways do? Let's find that out. Miswa Khan, Charvi Parker. Okay, you guys are giving us all the details, huh? Wonderful. Okay, so now national highway, it links extreme parts of India. Now, for example, I am in Pune and I have to go to Lucknow. Okay, then it is national highway that would help me to reach there and not the super highways. And the second thing is it is laid and maintained by Central Public Works Department. All right. Okay, then we have now new members joining in. Reshma, Tanya Singh, good evening. Welcome to the session. We are now talking about the third classification of roadways. Now, let me tell you one thing, India is a vast country, and even national highway is not able to cover every nook and corner of India. And for that reason, we have the third classification, that is the state highways. Okay, now what it does is, let's find that out. So it links the state capital with different district headquarters. Let's have a look at this state of Maharashtra map. So now the capital of this state is Mumbai. Okay, now if we want to connect the district headquarters, some important cities like Pune, Ratnagiri, Ahmednagar to Mumbai, then it is done by the state highways. Okay, and it is laid and maintained by the State Public Works Department. Arjun right here, Shersha Suri Marg. Okay, you guys are also giving us so many details. Good job there. I think you guys are all set for exams, no? If tomorrow you have to appear for exam, you would be able to easily do it. It's a cakewalk for you guys. Diksha Sharma, very well done. Okay then, let's now move forward to the next category, that is the district roads. Now what it would do, let's find that out. It would link the district headquarters with other places of the district. Now let's say for example, AB is our district headquarter and we have few other places of the districts located here. So now it is the district roads that would help us in connecting all the places. It would help us in linking this district headquarter to all the other places of the district. Okay, and it is maintained by Zilla Parishad. There we go. Papiya Das, well done. Arjun Aspai also giving in the answers quickly and correctly. All right then. But now question is that what about villages? Because good roads are extremely important for people living in villages as well, right? And there comes the other roads. It would link all the rural areas and villages with towns. So this is usually built and maintained by local governing bodies. But state and central government could also launch some scheme for that, and one such scheme is Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. So in this scheme, government plans to build all-weather motorable roads for our rural areas to connect to the nearest towns. All right. Okay, connecting towns, absolutely correct. Bhagyavardhan. Wonderful. Let's now move forward to the last classification, that is the border roads. And now I have one question for you now that you are answering everything so soon. Disha Bhatt says, sorry for being late, that's completely okay, Disha. Welcome. Okay, so now border roads. You know that India shares land boundaries with 7 neighboring countries. Now tell me in the chat box, as many neighboring countries names you know, put that down in the chat box. Let's see who is able to write all the 7 in the chat box quickly. Let me see what Diksha Sharma, Disha, Akriti, Ram has to say about it. All the 7 in one go you have to write. Okay, Rishav says China, Nepal. Aryan Rathore, very well done. You guys are giving in all the correct answers there. Yes, yes, absolutely correct. Rudra Pratap saying, Baldev saying. Okay then. So we have 7 neighboring countries that you have already mentioned. Ishtiaq Khan has written the answer. Wonderful. Okay, so now these border regions are connected through border roads. Okay, these are the roads in the bordering areas of the country. Now let's take Pakistan as one country and India as another. Okay, so in the state of Rajasthan, there is a part of land that is bordering Pakistan, and that is one good example of border roads. All right, and it is constructed and maintained by a special authority, that is Border Roads Organization. We call it as BRO, which somebody already mentioned. Paulami Sahu giving in the proper dates, the period as well in it. Wonderful, wonderful, Papiya. Indrani. Ram Gaikwad, absolutely correct. This road is built by BRO. And now, as it is a border area, so we know that these are sensitive from security point of view. And these roads, so these are developed roads, okay, due to the development of the road, it has improved the accessibility in areas of difficult terrain like mountainous regions or the roads that are very hard to travel. And also it has helped in economic development of these areas. So now the border road that is connecting 2 countries, okay, it is well connected to the cities of those countries as well. And due to this good connectivity, trade and transportation has increased, which has given rise to economic development. All right. Okay, wonderful now. And now is the time for one more question. Okay, just imagine, do you think that all the roads that we spoke about are same? Think about different roads that you have traveled so far and tell me, do you feel the same while you're traveling to each and every road, or is it somewhat different? And if it is different, then tell me what is different. Absolutely correct. No, it is not same. Then what is different, Charvi, Paulami, Disha? Hi Nitya. Thank you so much, Rudra. Okay. You guys are already giving the detailed answers here. So the difference is the construction of the material that is used there, the construction material used. So let's understand this thing in more detail. So, while we are traveling on roads, we sometimes have, we face smooth drive while we are traveling on highways. But then few rides are a little bumpier when we are traveling through hilly regions or village roads, right? Why is that so? Because one road is metalled road and the other is not. And what do we mean by metalled road? It's not made of metal, okay? It's also called pakka road. Okay, so now these roads are made up of, like somebody just mentioned in the comment box, Polumi mentioned, and Disha says all roads are same, some gives us smooth ride. Absolutely correct. Wonderful. Okay, so it is made up of cement, concrete, bitumen of coal, etc. So these are strong and durable, and it can be also used in rainy season. That is why we also call them, these are all weather roads, okay? Pakka road. Good evening, Shrishti. I am good, how are you? Okay, wonderful. So that was about the metalled road, but we also have the kacha road here, the unmetalled road, okay? These are made up of natural soil, grass, rocks, stones, so they wear out easily. And it goes out of use in rainy season as well. So, for smoother and faster transport, we prefer metalled roads. All right there. Aryan Rathod, you are on point. Hi, Vyoma. Okay, wonderful. So that was all about our very first mode of transport on land, that is roadways. Now it's time for us to quickly move forward to the second mode of transport, which is railways. So we will be covering two things here: importance of Indian railways and distribution of Indian railways. So clear. I'm really glad that the concept is very much clear to you. Okay, somebody has asked weather roads. It means that it could run in each and every weather, rainy season as well. Fazila Akhtar, I love the way you teach. Thank you so much. Prince Yadav says tomorrow is my social science exam. Prince, all the best for it. I'm sure you're gonna rock that exam. All right, let's move now forward to the importance of Indian railways. Okay, so the very first point here is that it is the principal mode of transportation for freight and passengers in India. So railways are cheap and fast for freight transportation. What do we mean by freight? We are transporting goods in bulk, okay? When this is happening for larger distance and it is only for internal trade, then these railways are the principal mode of transportation. All right, moving forward now to the second point. It helps in conducting multifarious activities like business, sightseeing, pilgrimage. Now roadways also offer us this, but we have seen volume of people choosing railways over roadways is higher. Why is that so? Because railways provides us, package like special trains package and some offers. Say for example, Golden Chariot that is offered by the state of Karnataka. It helps us, it takes us to important places in Karnataka, in Kerala, Goa, Tamil Nadu. Yashat also giving one more information about railways. The first train was operated from Mumbai to Thane in 1853, over 34 kilometers. Absolutely correct. Okay. And also if we talk about the sightseeing and pilgrimage activities are within the range of large number of citizens, and all thanks to Indian Railways for that. Moving forward now to the next point, it has helped in acceleration of industries, agriculture and other economic activities, right? So railways are helping in to and fro of finished goods, raw materials, equipments, grains and lot more. It is the largest employer in India. And the last one is it acts as a force of integration for the whole nation. Now, if we just look at railways and the way it is connecting the whole nation, you might have noticed that it has shrunk the apparent distance of two different places. For example, if I have to travel from Delhi to Chennai, then in older days it would have taken me a week to reach. But now it is pretty much less, right? Papiya is asking from where do you get all these information, Yashar? Please share that with everyone. Okay, wonderful. So in this way, Indian Railways are acting as an integrating force for the country. Okay, moving forward now to the second topic of our railways mode of transportation, we have the distribution. What do we mean by distribution here? So in this we will say that what all regions have established the railway lines, why particular regions do not have railway lines, then how are they well connected. All of these are based on the three factors that we will be talking about. The physiographic factors, the economic factors and the administrative factors. Okay. Now, physiographic factors are very important in determining the distribution of Indian railways. Okay, so firstly we have the highly favorable one, which means the region which has all the conditions of establishing railways. It would be easier and suitable. So one such example is the northern plains. Now in northern plains the lands are flat, they are leveled and vast. And that is the reason why it's very easy for us to put railway tracks there, to construct railway tracks there. And also the population density is high, which is also useful for, which is also one more reason for us to build railway there, right? Then we'll talk about moderately favorable example, which is the peninsula region. Now in this region, due to hilly terrains, we have the rocky nature of the region there, and also one more thing, that is other environment factors. It requires gaps or tunnels for the construction of railways. So now this would be tough to construct, right? And in result, it would increase the construction cost. Okay. Moving forward now to the third one, which is unfavorable. Okay, I can see all the comments coming in. Very eager to learn from Byju's. Thank you, Prince. Wonderful. Then comes the unfavorable regions. These regions, like we have no feasible conditions here, okay, or any reason to put forward a railway line. And the example is Himalayan region. Due to its sparse population, we won't be able to build railways there due to the lack of economic opportunities. Now in Himalaya, it is very difficult to build an industry because we don't have petroleum there, other minerals there, right? So we don't have much economic activities happening in that area. And also difficult terrain. Due to its uneven lands, it's very difficult for us to build a tunnel or lay down a line there, okay? And also, there are other regions posing obstacle to the establishment of railway. That is the sandy plains of western Rajasthan, we have swamps of Gujarat, then the forested tracts of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha and Jharkhand. Okay, Yashat has given the answer to the secret. Lochan, Sohani, Dhruva, wonderful, wonderful. Rishit says, you teach and I never forget, wonderful, it's amazing. Now let's move forward to another category. Now apart from physiographic factor, we also have economic factor that would affect the distribution of Indian railways. So now, places which have economic activities like industrial production. For example, the industrial region of Jamshedpur and Chota Nagpur region. We need to have railways there for the transportation of raw materials, for the transportation of finished goods, right? And also agricultural products. Like take example of the agricultural area of Punjab. We need railways to transport the agricultural goods. Okay, so in short we can say more economic activities, more the railways are needed. Okay, and moving forward to the last factor that we have is administrative factors. So your places where political headquarters of the country or state are situated, we put forth a railway, we build a railway line there. Why? Because all the important offices of a particular country or a state is most probably in the capital cities like New Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. So for the common people of different states, for them to visit the office, railways have this convenient option for them. And also in these capital cities, there is more economic activity taking place. Alright, so these are the three factors which affect the distribution of Indian railways. Okay then, wonderful. Let's now move forward to the third mode of transport, that is pipelines. Before I go ahead, it's question time once again. Tell me in the chat box, what is the very first thing that you do when you wake up? Come on, go ahead. The first thing that you do when you wake up. Yashar says brushing up teeth. Disha says brushing our teeth. Yes, absolutely correct. The first thing we do is wake up, brush our teeth, open the tap, gargle our mouth. So all this task is done within minutes, right? So this water that is transported from the water tank to our home is via pipelines. So just imagine if we don't have pipes or taps. We would have spent half of our day in carrying the water from one place to another, right? So this whole model, what if we scale up? What if we use a pipeline to transport goods across the country? Now that is where the pipelines come into the picture. The goods like water, crude oil, petroleum products, natural gas are transported using pipelines. Pipelines here means long and huge pipes used to transport goods across the country. Papia says I sleep after I wake up. Okay, very nice answer. Charvi says pipelines transport fluid substances like water. Absolutely correct. Crude oil. Okay then, okay. Papia is adding just humor in our session today. Alright, so the second thing is solids can also be transported. How? When we convert it into slurry. Now what do we mean by the word slurry? So solid, we need to mix it in a semi-liquid, it has to be in a semi-liquid state. So we have to mix a substance into the solid which would give us a mixture, and that mixture is called slurry. Charvi giving in the answers. Mineral ores are mixed into water and this mixture is called slurry. There you go. Wonderful. Lochan is also giving us the answer. Apart from Polemy. Okay then, wonderful. Let's talk about the advantages now of pipelines. Okay, so water in cities is transported via pipelines. Yes, we have many cities that is using pipelines to transport water. Second is it transports gas and oil directly from the field to factories, industries, power plants and fertilizer plants. So now let's take for example, this is our field and this is our factory. Okay, so now this field is the source from where the gas or petroleum is extracted, and now we have to transport that here to the factory. How would we do that? If we use roadways, what would happen? We have to load that particular good inside a particular truck and then we have to send it to the factory to its destination, and then again we will unload it and all the process would happen. But what if we install pipelines, gas pipelines that would go probably from under the ground, okay, so directly from the source to the destination. So that is what the advantage is of pipelines. Moving forward, it can be done over very long distances. Yes, we can lay pipelines for over thousands of kilometers. Then low maintenance cost. Absolutely, if we compare it with roadways, we have maintenance cost at every phase. Like for the trucks, for the roads, for unloading, loading and all sorts of things are avoided in pipelines as a mode of transport. Arjun says it rules out delays. Absolutely correct. That is our next point. Less transshipment losses and delays. What do we mean by transshipment? Unloading of goods from one ship to another, to loading it into another ship, okay, to reach our journey, to reach our destination. So the losses of materials are comparatively lesser, and also as we don't have the unloading and loading happening in between, it will reduce the delays. Okay then. So these were the advantages of our pipelines mode of transport. Moving forward now, we'll talk about the second means of transport, that is waterways. In this, we will be covering two things. Advantages of waterways and the two types of waterways, that is inland and overseas waterways. Let's start with the advantages of waterways. What do we have in this? So it is the preferred mode of transport for long distances since ancient times. Now in ancient times, if there were two options of either selecting transportation via land or water, everyone would go for water. Why? Because the lands were not that much developed. People had to walk, they had to use the bullock cart to do the transportation. And it is so not preferable for long distances. Right? Then the second thing is it helped in carrying and spreading Indian commerce and culture. So the concepts and ideas that were very intrinsic to India, like Ramayana and Mahabharata, were spread all over in the world because of waterways. So traders used to travel from one place to another, and in that process they used to exchange their ideas, their values, their culture to other people, right? Then the next advantage that we have is it's the cheapest mode of transport. And there are two reasons why it is the cheapest mode. Number one is its low construction and maintenance cost. Now, when you have to build roads, railways, you need to have the construction cost. But hey, water is free and is in abundance. So you just need to have a boat and a pot and you are good to go. Yeah, and the second reason is it is highly efficient in fuel, which means that large amount of fuel can be used, large amount of distance, could be covered in 1 unit of fuel. Second thing is the amount of fuel that is needed to, push or move a vehicle on land is more than that of waters. And so waterways is more suitable for carrying heavy and bulky goods. And also waterways are environmental friendly because it emits lesser, very few air pollutants, and it causes lesser noise pollution as well. Right? Ram Gaikwad, absolutely correct. One more advantage is that noise pollution is less. Low cost setup, environment friendly, absolutely correct there. It's time for us now to move forward to the two different types, that is inland and overseas waterways. Okay, so by overseas waterways we mean it connect different countries via sea or ocean, and 95% of India's trade by volume is moved by sea. So what do we mean by this? Out of 100 bags of potato, 95 bags are transported via sea route. Isn't this amazing? Yeah. And talking about the inland waterways, it's a navigable river, canal within a country. Okay. For example, if you see a ferry near the bank of the Ganga river, which takes you from one place to another through the Ganga river, then that is one example of inland waterways. And also one more important inland waterways are our national waterways. These are on major rivers connecting places there. So one of it is the Ganga River between Allahabad and Haldia. That is the national waterways number 1. And we also have more 4. So you can refer to your textbook to remember all the 5 national waterways, as again it is important from the exam point of view. Okay, moving forward now, so we have the 5 national waterways which you need to remember, and now it's time for us to move to the third means of transport, that is airways. Okay, so now airways are the fastest and most comfortable mode of transport. It would turn your 12 hours plus bus ride into 1 hour, right? Then the second advantage is it could cover very difficult terrains like thick forest, high mountains, vast deserts and oceans would not affect the speed and the air routes, right? Air transport would adopt the shortest route to reach the destination. Whereas if we compare it to the roads and railways, then again it is hard and it's expensive to construct it in such difficult terrains. Then the next thing is it is helpful in case of natural disaster. Now since airplanes travel through sky, so it can easily airdrop food, medicines and other necessary things that would help the calamity affected people. And also it could airlift the people from there, right? So these are some of the advantages of airways. So with this, we have completed our very first lifeline of national economy, that is transportation. Let's now move forward to the next one. Yasharth is also giving us the answers. Most expensive mode of transport. Okay, it is costly. Yes, Prince Yadav. Okay, now let's quickly talk about the communication, which is exchange of information between individuals. So it is a very important part of human lives. And with the advancement of technology, we have better and faster way of communication, right? So communication here is divided into 2 types, personal and mass. Personal communication is between individuals, okay? That can happen through the Indian Postal Network, telephones or mobiles. But now tell me in the chat box, which mode of communication which type of communication you use for talking to your friends or closed ones? Come on, tell me. I know the answer already, but still I want you all to tell me. For your personal communication, what do you use? Chari Parker, absolutely correct there. Lochan says, okay, Prince Yadav says mobile phone. Lochan says social media. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's now cover the mass communication. So mass communication would not happen between individual, but with large group of people, okay? Via television, Indian radio, newspapers and periodicals, and thanks to the internet, we also have podcasts, some video streaming apps as well to do so, right? So that was all about communication, and now it's time for us to move forward to the next one, that is trade. Okay, so in trade we will cover 3 things. First of all, what do we mean by trade? Why is trade important? And third is the balance of trade. Okay, now what is trade? It is the exchange of goods and services among people. Say for example, one person is selling books to a customer, so that is a trade. States, Maharashtra selling cottons to Tamil Nadu. Countries, exchange of services between India and US. All of this is referred to as trade. And where does this happen? In market. Market is the place where such exchanges take place. Because markets won't be always physical, right? For example, if we are trading stocks, then it is a financial market. So we don't have a physical place per se, right? Now, as you guys are giving too many answers. I want you all to answer one more thing. Why trade is important? Tell me that. I mean, what if we keep all the resources to ourselves? We don't give it to anybody. What would happen? Come on, go ahead. Give me the answer. Waiting for what Disha has to say. Charvi, Lochan, Yasharth. Come on, Suhani, Papiya, Anshita. Go ahead. No development in our country, for country's development, no presence of new products, absolutely correct. Resources are space bound because not all places would have all the resources, and that is the reason why we have to buy, sell, right? We have to do the trade within the country, within the people of the country or states, so that we can share the resources. For example, oil is mainly found in abundance in West Asia, so it will share oil with other countries as well. Then we have gold and diamonds of Africa, software and hardware technologies of USA, China, Japan. All in all, what we are trying to say here is not everyone has everything. So we need to exchange, and that is why we need trade. Okay. Wonderful. Anushka Yadav, Papiya Das, Gauri. Okay then, okay. Moving forward now to the last subtopic that we have is the balance of trade. So first of all, let us understand. We have our country here, India, and this is another country, say X, okay. So now, when we sell goods to other countries, okay, when we are selling goods to other countries and they are giving money to us, then this is called export. All right, selling goods and getting money is called export. And when we are buying goods from other country, okay, we are buying goods from other country and we are giving them the money, we are paying money, then this is called as imports. Okay, now let's talk about what is a positive balance of trade and what is a negative balance of trade. Okay, so now when the amount of money that is generated in our country is greater than that of the money that we are giving to other countries, then we call it as positive balance of trade. Okay, but when it is the opposite of that, that is when the value of exported goods is lesser than that of the imported goods, then we call it as negative balance of the trade. Let me just erase this for you to concentrate on the points. Yeah, so if the value of imported goods is lesser, then the value of exported goods is positive, but if the value of imported goods is greater than the value of exported goods, then it is the negative balance of trade. It is unfavorable. So with this, we have completed all the 3 lifelines of national economy. Let us quickly summarize the whole thing that we have covered here. We spoke first of all about transportation, in that land, water and air. We spoke about roadways, we did the comparison, and also we spoke about the categorization of roadways on the basis of its capacity, and the second thing is construction material. Then in railways we spoke about its importance and the distribution, and pipelines has its own advantages. Then inland waterways, make sure you remember the 5 national waterways. Overseas waterways, we did it with the definition of it. And then airways, we had communication, personal and mass communication. Trade, what did we mean by trade? Why is it important? And what is the positive and negative balance of trade? All right, so with this, we are done with our session. Thank you so much for the amazing session, says Anushka, Gungun. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope it was pretty much clear to you. But we know that you would be, stressed because of the announcement of the recent changes in the board exams. Do not worry, but we have got you covered. We have an upcoming session on important questions from geography on February 25th, that is on Friday at 5 p.m. So make sure you attend that, okay? And brush up your concepts, and also do not forget to avail free trial classes. The link of it is mentioned in the description box. All right, with this, thank you so much and all the best for your exams.